My name is Isobel Ngo, also known as Izzy, and I'm in the class of 2019. I was a fat kid. Yeah, I was just like a giant ball of dough. So I was very happy about it. Yeah, I was very, I guess I'm kind of oblivious to maybe like social constructs. Like I would be hanging out with the guys all the time, and all my friends would be like, "Oh my God, like Izzy's so weird. Like, yeah, Izzy plays football and like she wrestles around with the guys," and I was like, "Yay, this is so much fun." Me and my family, we just ate junk food like all the time. We had slept in morning class, and then she said, "Do you want to go to school?" I was like, "Nope." And he's like, "Do you want to have M&Ms for breakfast?" I was like, "Yep." And so we just had M&Ms for breakfast. I got to middle school, and then I became like super feminist. Not even. It was like the most perverse, I don't know, interpretation of feminism. Like I had hated that guys got all this recognition and always got like respect, and no one thought that like a guy would be, you know, something that you have to look after as he climbs up the rope. And if a girl went up, they're like, "Oh my God, be careful." And I hated that. I chopped my own hair off. Yeah, and it was really bad. My mom came home that night and she's like, "What the fuck did you do?" And she like threw the scissors on me, which in hindsight maybe she regrets, but I don't know. And I refused to go to shop at the girls section. And so I wore guy clothes. And so for a good 5 years in my middle school life, like whenever my parents meet people, they're like, "Oh, yeah, you have such two handsome sons." And they're like, "Yeah, thank you." Yeah, that was a very horrendous point in my life. But I'm very proud of that person. And that kid was probably the most comfortable I've ever been. I lived in South Korea, I lived in Philippines, England, Jakarta, Vietnam, and then Singapore. I don't know, I had a very complicated relationship with being Singaporean. At one point in time, I was like, "No, I'm not Singaporean, I'm Filipino, like I'm so adamantly Filipino." And then I went to the Philippines, and I was like, I'm not Filipino. Like I wish I could say I was, but I was a month old when I moved out. But then we got the passport for being Singaporean, and I was like, yes, I'm Singaporean. Singapore means to be a mixing pot of all cultures, and like that is just who I am. Like I am a Southeast Asian kid, and like Singapore is like the quintessence of Southeast Asia. You know, there's a lot of things I missed out on by not living in Singapore. I don't have that JC experience, secondary school experience. Yeah, I'm kind of reconciling with that, I guess. I like to believe I'm Singaporean. I think I'm just gonna throw my hands up in the air with resignation and just say I'm a kid of Southeast Asia. I'm really passionate about people I care about. That's for sure. I always ask myself that. It's like, why am I in college? Like, I don't necessarily need to be studying more. That manifests itself in multiple ways, whether that be like I care too much about what people think about me, or about things that I'm involved in, things I care about, or I too willingly want to agree with people or make everyone happy. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And so that I actually am very interested in like the underground worlds of like third genders, you know, like for example the Kathoey in Thailand. Like I read several biographies of those Kathoey in Thailand, and they had very crazy lives, but they would just say it in the most nonchalant way, as if they're like, this is just how it is. And I'd be reading these places like, oh my God. So yeah, and so like I went to Thailand after reading that, went to Bangkok, and I went down Soi Cowboy, which is loosely translates to Cowboy Street. All these what's it called, bars and like strip clubs, right? And then I just sat down and talked to them, and I was like, you know what, I read enough of this, I have to meet these girls.